Think about how underrated a simple morning message can be. It seems like just common courtesy, but in reality, it's a chance to capture someone's attention for the whole day. Such a message can be the starting point for developing interest, or conversely, lead to complete oblivion. It's like a coin flip, where heads means you're the first person they think of in the morning, and tails means you disappear into the crowd. But what if there was a way to control the outcome of this game? What if every message sent carried not a random set of words, but purposefully awakened emotions, ignited curiosity, and made them think of you first thing after waking up? The great Swiss psychologist Carl Gustav Jung argued that words are not just shells, but symbols filled with meaning, keys that open doors to the unconscious. Understanding this will turn ordinary messages into powerful emotional experiences. A common mistake is writing banal, impersonal, and monotonous messages. Phrases like, "Good morning, how did you sleep, have a nice day," sound pleasant and friendly, but unfortunately, they don't bring the desired result. Why? Because they don't evoke any emotions, don't leave any memories, and don't awaken desire. However, the main secret lies not in the content of the message, but in how it is presented. In communication, it's not just the words that matter, but how the other person perceives them, what feelings they evoke in them. Epictetus wisely noted, "We are affected not by the event itself, but by how we interpret it." Jung would undoubtedly support this idea, because true power lies not in the message, but in the emotions it evokes. Today, I'm going to share with you 7 inspiring morning messages that are not just pleasant words, but carefully crafted phrases that can activate the areas of the brain responsible for attracting attention, awakening interest, and motivation. They break the routine and plant a thought in his mind that will accompany him throughout the day. Surely you've been in a situation where you send a message full of hope, and the response is silence. No reply, not even a read receipt. It hurts. But before you blame him, you should think, is it all about him? Perhaps the problem lies in your message. Template phrases are soulless, like locked doors. Imagine if a stranger just wrote to you, "Hi, how are you?" Would you answer with enthusiasm? Most likely not. Because this message doesn't evoke any emotions, you don't feel seen, that they are addressing you personally, that there is any connection between you. Even worse are messages that subconsciously express neediness and dependence. For example, "Good morning, honey. I hope you have a wonderful day. I really hope we see each other soon. Sorry to bother you. I just wanted to write to you." As cute as this sounds, on a subconscious level he reads, "I'm giving you my attention completely free, and you don't have to do anything in return. I'm here and waiting." This phrase, like a cold shower, can instantly extinguish the flame of passion. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, spoke about our tendency to project our own, sometimes unconscious desires and needs onto others. Paradoxically, it is this projection that often becomes a wall between people instead of building bridges. Emperor Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "A person's value is determined by what he gives to others." This statement directly applies to our messages. If they don't carry emotional value, don't touch the strings of the soul, they are quickly forgotten, dissolved in the flow of information. So how do you compose a message that will make him stop, smile, think, and of course remember you? The answer is simple: create an emotion. Evoke curiosity with a phrase like, "You'll never guess what I dreamed about you." Awaken a sense of humor. "Yesterday, I had a story happen to me that reminded me so much of you that I still can't stop laughing." Intrigue with a mystery. "Something incredible happened this morning that made me think of you, but you'll never guess what it was." Don't despair if it doesn't work out yet. I will reveal the secrets of creating such messages, give you 7 keys that will open the doors to his heart. These messages are capable of awakening sincere interest, tearing him out of the grey routine and, completely imperceptibly to him, making him look forward to meeting you. Ready for a change? So, let's start with the first principle, the power of mystery. Remember, if you reveal all your cards at once, you lose your appeal. You become predictable and uninteresting. Remember, have you ever sent a message full of hope and expectation and received in return a dry ha-ha, devoid of any energy and desire to continue communicating? This happens exactly when you put everything out at once. It's as if you were shown the climax of a movie in the first 10 seconds of the trailer. Revealing all the cards deprives the story of its charm. Carl Jung argued that the subconscious mind responds most strongly to what eludes the eye, to what is hidden. A mystery awakens the imagination, and where there is imagination, attraction is born, and that is where your strength lies. A message shrouded in mystery is like a half-open door, a temptation that cannot be resisted. Remember how the phrase works. "Good morning. You won't believe what I dreamed about you." Its effectiveness is striking because it triggers a deep mechanism of the human mind that cannot tolerate uncertainty. If something is missing, the brain eagerly seeks an answer, which is what Carl Jung described in his concept of archetypes and symbols. Incompleteness is like a magnet that attracts us. Such a message is captivating without being intrusive. His thoughts involuntarily begin to swarm. What did she dream about? Was it a romantic vision, a funny episode, or a passionate impulse? And before he realizes it, you have already captured his attention. But here, the golden rule comes into play. Don't rush to answer if he asks you to tell him. Let his imagination run wild. Let him languish in ignorance. Later, you can drop casually. It was too exciting to simply retell in a message. Try to guess. This small dose of mystery creates a vivid emotional impression that is etched in the memory for a long time. In the end, a person may not remember your words verbatim, but he will never forget the feelings that you awakened in him. Now, let's move on to the second type of message. Messages that can touch the innermost corners of his soul. If you fail to penetrate his emotional sphere, you risk remaining just one of many. Perhaps in your life there have already been conversations with men who seemed pleasant, but never managed to reach true depth. Words sounded, but did not cause any internal changes. As Jung said, repressed emotions do not disappear without a trace. They manifest later in a different form. It is this emotional level that is the foundation for true intimacy, as opposed to superficial and non-committal conversations. An example of a powerful text that can touch the heart might be a message like this. "Good morning. I wish you a day filled with bright successes. Tell me, what is your most cherished dream right now?" With such a message, you move away from meaninglessness and open the door to a world of authenticity. Every person, without exception, strives to be understood and appreciated. And if you are the one who gives him this feeling, he will definitely remember you. If he entrusts you with his dream, treat it with sincere attention. Cherish his words, share his vision, even if it seems distant and incomprehensible to you. An answer like, "That sounds absolutely incredible. What exactly inspired you to do this?" can deepen your connection much more than 1,000 empty compliments. After all, someone who knows how to touch hearts doesn't need to shout to be remembered. And finally, the third type of message. Those that awaken the imagination. If you manage to involve him in shared dreams, you can be sure of his emotional involvement. There are conversations that sink into the soul for a long time, warming the heart even in the routine of everyday life. Words have amazing power. They can create entire universes in our minds. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung asserted, Fantasies and imagination serve as bridges to the depths of the unconscious, where our true desires are born. Imagine a message with such an effect. Good morning. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you go? This question instantly triggers an internal journey. A person can mentally transport himself to a secluded beach with azure water, to a noisy square in an old Italian city, or to the epicenter of a thrilling adventure. And you, like a shadow, imperceptibly penetrate this world, deeply rooted in his consciousness. The emotions that he experiences at this moment are subconsciously associated with you, and as soon as such an emotional connection arises, the person becomes unforgettable. And here's the final touch. If he answers your question, don't remain superficial. Develop the topic, delve into the details. If he says, in Paris, don't limit yourself to a banal, oh, that's wonderful. It's better to say, I imagine you strolling through Montmartre with a cup of coffee in your hand and a thoughtful look. Do you feel close to French culture? You help him expand the picture, make it brighter and more vivid, thereby leaving an indelible impression. This is how you turn from just a pleasant interlocutor into someone who cannot be thrown out of your head. Let's move on to the next trick. Awaken his curiosity. The thirst for the new and unknown is one of the most powerful emotional stimuli, and if you manage to activate it, ignite a whirlwind of thoughts about you in his mind, a force so potent it surpasses your wildest expectations. Recall the phrase that sends shivers down your spine, we need to talk. Evoke a similar emotional tempest in him, but tinted with charm and positivity. Send a message akin to this. Good morning. Something struck me, making me see you in a completely new light. This will serve as an emotional wake-up call, compelling him to wonder what you meant, what shifted in your perception. What did you suddenly glimpse in him? Something exquisite, captivating, unexpected. As Carl Jung asserted, there exists a collective unconscious, a realm where we share common symbols, emotions, and ideas. It is this very space that such a message targets, creating a sense of intrigue, a hint of a story just beginning to unfold. The key is to avoid revealing all your cards at once. Play with ambiguity, with anticipation, like in the phrase, I won't say yet, but trust me, you'll want to know. Such messages cultivate emotional anticipation, which can be addictive. You know the feeling when you're told half a story, and you can't shake it from your mind, yearning to uncover what's been concealed. It is this very void in consciousness that breeds longing. Jung said that what is hidden becomes a projection, and projection gains power. Mystery possesses magnetic allure. When something becomes too readily accessible, it loses its appeal, like a familiar tune blaring from every radio. To ignite a spark of genuine interest, it's crucial to create a veil of mystery. Imagine a message that begins, Good morning. Something incredible happened last night, and my first thought was of you. I'll tell you when we meet. These few lines have the power to instantly ignite the imagination. What happened? Why was I the recipient of this news? Was it an amusing incident, a touching moment, or something more personal? You're opening a door into a world of something special, but not allowing immediate access. This is the magic of the moment. Such messages trigger a continuous thought process in the recipient's mind, a sort of open loop. He won't be able to simply dismiss it until he receives answers to his questions. It's akin to when a song cuts off right before the chorus, leaving the listener in agonizing anticipation. The brain craves to hear the missing chord. Therefore, avoid the mistake of revealing everything at once. If a question follows, respond evasively. I don't know if I should tell you, but it really made me smile. In this way, you continue to build tension, implying that the right to hear this story must be earned. As Carl Jung noted, things hidden in the depths of the unconscious eventually acquire special significance. Whoever controls the rhythm of communication effectively controls the degree of emotional intimacy. Moving on to the fifth type of message, one cannot ignore the power of nostalgia. Memories, skillfully employed, can exert a powerful emotional effect. Surely everyone is familiar with the feeling when a particular melody suddenly transports you to the past, making you feel close to someone special again. Memories have their own scents, their own colors. Memories possess an astonishing power. They can instantly resurrect in our souls a whole palette of feelings, smells, and colors associated with a particular moment. Sometimes even the smallest detail can awaken a cascade of experiences. Epictetus, the ancient Greek philosopher, emphasized that it is not the event itself that is decisive, but how we have captured it in our memory. In turn, Carl Jung, the distinguished psychologist, spoke of the emotional and symbolic value that we carefully cherish, like a treasure from our past. If you manage to awaken shared memories, whether real or born of the imagination, you will create an invisible connection based on beautiful emotions. For example, you can start the day with a message like this. Good morning. Today I suddenly remembered our walk in the park. It was something magical. How do you feel about repeating it sometime soon? In this way, you simultaneously nurture two valuable shoots, reviving a beautiful moment in memory and creating the prospect of new, equally vivid experiences. This generates an emotional echo, and even if a shared memory does not yet exist, you can create it. Emotional reality is no less powerful than factual reality, especially if it is supported by vivid images. Remember how often you shared dreams of the sea? Try saying something like, Today I imagined us walking along a sandy beach, admiring the sunset, the sound of the surf, and suddenly you're next to me. I wish it would come true. In doing so, you plant in his mind an image in which you are present, even if the event has not yet happened. What we feel leaves a much deeper mark on our soul than what actually happened. Let's move on to the sixth type of message, compliments that captivate. This isn't about a banal acknowledgement of his attractiveness, it's about making him feel truly special and unique. A sincere compliment is like a skillfully chosen gift. It's not just a stock phrase, but something that reflects his uniqueness. True recognition manifests in the ability to see a person on a deep level. There's a category of gifts available to everyone, and then there are those that only someone who truly understands your essence can present. The same is true of words. What compliments stick in your memory? Of course, those that come from the depths of the soul and reflect your uniqueness. Compliments act like unforgettable experiences. Only what touches us emotionally leaves a mark in the memory. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted that everyone strives for recognition, but only a few receive it sincerely. If you can give a person this genuine form of appreciation, you will certainly stand out from the crowd. Imagine such a profound message. You know what I admire most about you? Your ability to find humor in everything. It's simply infectious. This short message contains three key elements. First, it's specific. You don't just say, "You're nice," but you note a real quality. Second, it's authentic. The person feels that you really see him. And third, it connects you to his actions. Every time he laughs again or says something funny, he will remember you. Avoid banal or exaggerated compliments like, "You're the coolest guy in the world." They will quickly seem empty or even desperate. Pay attention to the little things that a person may not even realize. His voice when he talks about something important, his laughter, his manners. When a man is passionate about something, his movements become more expressive and lively. By noticing these moments and showing that you appreciate them, you create a strong emotional connection. Women who leave such a mark on a man's soul will never be forgotten. Notice how he gestures when he excitedly talks about something, or how his eyes light up when he shares his dreams. These seemingly insignificant details reveal his true essence. By noting these manifestations, you touch something deep in his soul. People are instinctively drawn to those who truly see and understand them. If a man feels that you notice something in him that others miss, he will remember you every time that trait manifests. Carl Jung argued that within each of us lives a deep, often unconscious desire to be seen not only for external manifestations, but also for who we really are. The one who can satisfy this need becomes unforgettable. Now let's move on to the seventh, and perhaps the most powerful type of message. A message that awakens anticipation. Expectation is the most powerful driving force of desire. Remember how you once looked forward to something that wouldn't leave your head. A long-awaited meeting, a special gift, or an important event. If this expectation is filled with feelings, then ordinary things turn into magic. Imagine you're sitting in your favorite restaurant, waiting for your signature dish. Imagine a situation. You're in a restaurant, and the waiter, giving you a radiant smile, intriguingly says, "Today we have something special for you, a real surprise." This moment of anticipation, this little pause, doesn't cause irritation at all. On the contrary, it only fuels your curiosity and anticipation. After all, the longer we languish in anticipation of something desired, the more valuable it becomes when we receive it. As Seneca wisely noted, what we get without effort is rarely truly appreciated. And Carl Jung, in turn, emphasized that the hidden and mysterious has a much stronger effect on our subconscious than anything obvious and apparent. Therefore, if you want to capture a person's attention on a deep level, try to awaken in him a feeling of anticipation for something special, whether it's a captivating story, an interesting detail, or a minor but meaningful gesture. A simple message like, "Good morning. I'm preparing a surprise for you and can't wait to see your reaction," can work. Wonders. This short text triggers three powerful emotional processes at once. First, curiosity. The person is eager to know what you have in mind. Second, anticipation. He will think about you all day, scrolling through possible scenarios in his head. And third, control. You hold the reins of the game in your hands, determining the moment when the tension reaches its peak and resolves. And here's a little secret. It's not necessary to prepare a grand and expensive surprise. Sometimes, a small thing filled with meaning and significance is enough. This could be a cherished memory, a song that connects you, a heartfelt love letter, a small item that you know will bring a smile to his face, or even his favorite drink, served at just the right moment. After all, it's not the cost of the gift that matters, but the feelings you put into it. True understanding of a person lies not only in recognizing their actions, but also in delving into the depths of their experiences.